So I don't know about you guys, but I'm kind of an adrenaline junkie. Like, I love anything that'll get my blood, like, rushing. And there's three things particular that get that perfectly for me that I can't live without at all. The first one is playing ice hockey. Was my first stick I got a few years ago. It's really not that good. But I love the feeling of when the coach calls my number and I get to sprint out, like, onto the ice. Like, it's the greatest feeling in the world. You go find that puck and basically you get to destroy any kid that has it. And that's the greatest feeling ever. When I have my pads on, I just feel invincible. Really nobody can take me out. It's good and bad. I've been knocked out a few times. Yeah. Another thing that I like to do is I like to ride my motorcycle a lot. I live for that. I can never live without my motorcycle. That's one thing that I always have to do. The feeling when I'm on my bike, either at the desert, when I'm at a track, it's just anything. It's just a love and a freedom that I can't even explain. It's just the best feeling in the world for me. Doesn't matter what I do. I just have to be able to ride. It doesn't matter how hurt I get. I'll always go back. The last thing is surfing. It's not really, it's adrenaline when I'm on a wave, but just sitting out in the waves, just perfect, just waiting for that perfect wave is just amazing. It's just like peacefulness, I guess. You don't think about anything. It's kind of like when I'm at the desert riding my motorcycle. You don't think about anything. You're just in the moment. You're just sitting there waiting for the next wave. Then it goes to the risk and reward for the three things that I love. Hockey, I said I've been knocked out a couple times, had a few concussions, broken fingers before, and then motorcycles. This is my neck brace that I wear. They just came out a few years ago, but it's already saved my life once. This back part breaks off, and I didn't know it was that easy to break off, but I've broken this one off 3 times. And it takes 10,000 pounds of pressure to break this. Broken it 3 times, so that's 3 broken necks it saved me from. Another thing that happened was when I was like 10, I crashed out of Verona Oaks, doing about 40 miles an hour into the face of a jump. And I just hit my head so hard they had to life flight me out. I was in a coma for 3 days, seizuring and all that. They didn't know if I was going to be able to come out okay, and I pulled out of it fine. They brought me into surgery because my brain was swelling, and they were going to have to drill a hole like right in the middle of my forehead, just right there to relieve pressure. But luckily, like 5 minutes before that, my brain stopped swelling. I was in the hospital for about 2 weeks. Then about 3 weeks later, or not 3 weeks, 3 years later, I was out at the desert, and I did a jump by myself, and I crashed, just warming up a bike for a race, or a ride. And when I woke up, or like stopped falling, so I didn't get knocked out for that one. I realized that I couldn't move. And I had to wait for somebody to come get me since my mom didn't know where I was at. And when I came back, or like when some people found me, since they were like waving at me on the freeway, they didn't know why I was laying there. So right next to the freeway in the road. Some guys finally came over, and they called the ambulance. When the ambulance got there, they thought I dislocated my knee. And yeah, when I got to the hospital at Yuma General, I didn't dislocate my knee. I actually broke my femur. Here down, I exploded it into 3 pieces. So that cost me a month in traction in the hospital to heal the growing plates in your knees so that your knees grow. And then my bones actually healed back together. I went in a cast, came back, and a week later in the cast, it rebroke in the cast. So the whole month of traction was good for the growing plates, but they eventually had to put in the plate and screws. So that was not good. That was 5 surgeries and a month in the hospital. And surfing, I've hit the bottom a few times. But basically, just if you love something that you can't live without, it doesn't matter how hurt you get. Just whatever you do, just do it, because it's the best thing in the world. It's probably the best feeling in the world. So, yeah, thank you guys.